Looks like we're ready to go. Hello, everybody. It's Ballsy. I have decided to go live today. Yes, I did that. So, there's that. So, we're going to sit around a bit and just look at Benjamin Netanyahu's stupid face. The face, that looks like he just grabbed a cheese grater and scrubbed his face with it. That guy, right? So, that's the look that we're giving, that he looks like, right? Basically, we're talking about Gaza, obviously. The Gaza Strip, obviously. Trump recently said something about seizing control over the Gaza Strip. No, I'm not sure the whole details of it, but he did talk about it and how he's going to seize control over it and relocate Palestinians that are there to Palestine, the actual country, instead of the Gaza Strip. Not a Yeah, that's a big controversial thing. So I guess I don't know. I don't know what's really going on with that part, but I'm guessing it's just Trump saying he wants to take control over it because it's actually been a cesspool of wars and people have been dying in Palestine because of rockets and hospitals being bombed. Because Israel just decided, I don't give a shit. Let's just kill them. Let's just try to kill the Hamas, even if they are just civilians. Who knows? Yeah. And interestingly enough, looking at it in hindsight, that it was about land, but this particular war is just the Gaza Strip taking place and the blockade of resources going into the Gaza Strip, because and this is kind of the excuse or reasons, whatever you want to call it, that Israel would give, and also Egypt. At the time, Egypt did have control of the Gaza Strip, but then after the Six-Day War, Israel had control of the Gaza Strip. But around in 1993, Palestine was able to seize control of the Gaza Strip, but not really too much. Israel still had a big control over the Gaza Strip, and still do in some capacity away. And just not even actually scratch that. They still have a lot of control. So the whole fucking thing, if people need a breakdown of what really went down, how the war started in the first place, it started with the blockade of natural resources, and there was criticisms towards Israel because the first reason Israel would give is, okay, it was a security reason. Hamas did not support the existence of Israel. That was one of those things, and Hamas were an Arabic Islamic group of people, right? So there's that part to consider, and there's also the fact that if you look at Israel, they say things like, well, we don't. It's a national security reason, even though they really don't pose any threat, and we got the United States and the Russian backing. We got literally the most powerful countries backing us. But either way, though, their whole kind of breakdown in their whole summary is, it's security reasons. We don't know, so we decided to blockade the Gaza Strip, which is majorly Palestinian run. Now, I don't know, but from my understanding here there was also the fact that they were not seen as people, and Israel was even like does have this, and you guess what? Israel does have a Zionistic viewpoint of people. Like, they don't really look at anybody else as equals, and they're like, well, you're not my people, so fuck you. So the Gaza Strip isn't really part of Palestine or Israel, but it is there, and it's controlled by Israel. There's also articles talking about how Egypt is also has some control of the Gaza Strip, or some capacity away. It's saying that they even denied they even did a blockade of resources going into the Gaza Strip, but they don't really have anything to do with the Palestine versus Israel war. They were just kind of, I guess it was just thrown in the mix, who just had that control but don't really anymore. So I don't think we could throw them in at all. If you wanted to say if any capacity way they played a part in it, the only time they actually did play a part was within the 6 Day War, and Egypt is one of the things Israel was fighting at that time. And if you consider the proxy wars where Israel was kind of upset with Palestine, or Iran rather, and one of those proxy allies were Palestine. It was just connections around the Middle East. Israel didn't like that, but despite the fact that Israel had like connections to the most powerful countries in the world, right? Right. Going forward, Benjamin Netanyahu, you fuckwit. Good job at bombing the hospitals and civilians, by the way. But the Hamas and had it hostages. So did Israel, but meh. Either way, though, I think the interesting part about all this is that the Hamas group of people actually still don't like Israel. Just don't like the existence of Israel. Or how do I put this? I'll put it this way: they don't acknowledge or recognize Israel or shit like that. They don't like Israel. I guess that's all I can say. There isn't much of any other reasons or exclusions such as the fact that they're a Islamic group of militia. They're an Islamic militia group that opposes Islam. Well, not Islam, Israel. So yeah, 9 minutes. I went pretty well. Nice, but not that matters. So I kind of covered those aspects part of it. So no, there was a ceasefire at the very best, at the very least. So there's also the consider that, right? Now they're giving Biden the credit here. Understandable, I guess, because it happened under him. Not sure exactly what the deal was, but they kind of already agree. I thought they were already coming to the terms of a ceasefire ever since Trump won the election. So there's also that as well. So I think I just down the entire Gaza thing, and just Gaza entirely. So I don't think there isn't much anything to cover. However, Benjamin Netanyahu is a Jewish turd fuckwit. So yeah, is that? So it was like around. Yeah. So basically, I guess you could still say it was about land mostly, but this time it was like natural resources of Israel blockading those resources. Another thing is that Israel was also saying, we don't see you as really human. We're like the superior. We suffered more than you, so fuck you. They had that mentality too. How dare you oppose us? Kind of sort of thing, right? So, like, I mean, at that point, of course they're gonna be attacked. Shit, you had control over this fucking place for freaking years, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, fuck it, because we have of our ideals. Fuck you. We're gonna attack you. You fucking idiot. We need these resources, bruh. Yeah, stuff went like that. Yep, it did definitely go like that. Although they say it was a national security reason. I think there was one point where Israel denied they had any control over Gaza Strip, despite the fact that they had a military personnel there kind of roaming the streets still. So I don't know why if that was the case, I don't know why they even said that in the first place. Is Trump taking over the Gaza Strip a good thing? I don't fucking know. No, but considering the fact that he wants to relocate Palestinians that are suffering there, and yes, a huge portion of Palestinians are suffering there. It's probably also one of those main reasons why Israel even denied blockade out to the Hamas. It was the fact, like, oh, I mean, the Islamic people. They're not Jewish, so why should we help them? Kind of, probably kind of sort of thing like that. But the Gaza Strip isn't part of Palestine either. But the Hamas, it's weird because the Hamas group is also fighting for Palestine, I guess, in some capacity away. But who knows about that part? Ah, I think, well, that's kind of covering everything, with the exception of Adolf Hitler, kind of also trying to help relocate the Jewish people back to Israel at the time because he had a migration problem of Jewish people going into Germany. Not because he actually hated Jewish people, by the way. Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Let's take over that part too. It was like around like 1933 to 1939, where Hitler didn't just throw a bunch of Jewish people into the concentration camps. He was also trying to relocate them, and roughly about like 60,000 people, Jewish people were at least able to enter back into the Middle East. There was a Havok, or how do you pronounce it, treaty where he would have help Jewish people be relocated to their original homeland, stuff like that, which is Israel, and which was just a bunch of European Jewish people from Europe who were now originally from Europe, but their original homeland was Israel and Jerusalem. Jerusalem, that one. There's also the coverage of West Bank of even Israel, and I'm not too sure, but there's also the coverage of West Bank being exact. So, yeah. 14 minutes of me covering Gaza Strip, and I think I covered most of everything. I think that's a good portion. I could have just made this fucking a little premiere and it's been done with it. Why not? Yeah, I talked about most of things that I think that are important to cover. Now, I don't know, because the only question is, who's the more evil religion? Islam or Jewish? Well, I mean, there's the taboo that the elitist Jewish people support, like the O'Meal, where they like snipping them tiny peepees and then giving them little blowjobs to children. Yeah, I know you. Hi, Benjamin Netanyahu. Hi. There's also the trafficking in Jewish tunnels of children too. So there's also that. Islam, I mean, they're just a bunch of moon worshippers. They're like sun worshippers, but if you and try to make it sound more, how do you say it? More creative, if you will. And there you go. Allah, where Muhammad was a great killer and murdered everybody, and even molested children. Yeah, that's somebody to vote for. Yay! But then you got the locals who are just trying to actually believe the goodness of both of them. So I guess you could say there's goodness in both of them, I suppose. But listen, you can also say there's goodness in Satanism, but that doesn't make it a good religion to follow. That's just me. Yeah. You think Satanism is good? No. You can have good morals and be a Satanist, but that doesn't justify being a Satanist. Right? Right? And that's why I like to say, hey, not all. Some people will be like, well, not all trannies are bad. You know what? You're right. Not all trannies are bad, but that doesn't mean it's good to be a tranny. Sorry. I don't operate on because the person's good, so therefore being the person's bad. Man, no, if it's bad to be at all in the first place, why be it at all? I mean, if that was the case, you had liberals be accepting of Nazis, even though Nazis don't exist anymore. And if they do, and if they're trying to pledge the existence of them at all, they're doing a terrible job. For example, there was a bunch of Nazis walking down the road chanting "I hate black people" or some shit, saying the N-word. But that's not really Nazis. They don't hate black people. So yeah. Israel funded Hamas. Times of Israel wrote an article about it. That's actually an interesting point to bring up. Bring up too, like, and that's why I actually talked about like how the Hamas group about the saying they don't acknowledge Israel at the time, but and that's why Israel was like, that's why we're denying security reasons. But another other reason was like Israel has a Zionistic view of Palestinians. They're like, well, I mean, they're not the same as us, so fuck them. They even denied them resources of water and food, trying to suggest it was for national security reasons, even though they got literally the backing of the United States of America, the most powerful country in the world. So the Hamas group wouldn't really be a threat much to them, especially if they're fucking connections they have. Hamas group is basically just an Islamic group of people. So yeah. Really? That's interesting. It says Islamic State. That I didn't even think of that. That's funny too because I think you think Israel media would be more critical of the Western world because like you're not giving us enough or some shit. But the fact that Israel it is actually critical of Israel itself actually is kind of positive, I would say. So interesting. So who'd have thought? What about the Palestine media though? Are they critical of Israel because their leader is a pussy. Don't get me wrong, but what about the Palestine one? I don't know about them. They their schools though teach them to hate freaking Jewish people. So who knows? They even give children. Well, basically, most of the Hamas terrorist group they train the children to be fighters. That's either good or bad in your book. I don't know. Honestly, like in an aesthetic point of view, I don't think it's bad for children to know how to defend themselves, including with weapons. You look up the Hannibal Protocol. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. That sounds interesting. And I guess I could cover that too in a bit. By the way, though, well, I already covered that actually. So yeah, give me a sec. Give me a sec. The Hannibal Protocol. I gotta get to that. Got to get to the bottom of that. I have to, and fight evil Israels or some shit. I don't know. So where are you? Where are you? Where are you? That go. Where are you? I just type in. There you are. So there is a Hannibal protocol. What is all with all these freaking code names? The Hannibal protocol, freaking. I kid you not. Like during like the endorsement of Kamala Harris before during the election, there was literally a woman that came out and said, "I'm part of the Sandwich Committee." I'm just like, "What the fuck is the Sandwich Committee?" Like that. It's one of the weirdest shit ever. The Hannibal protocol. So I'm getting there. Oh, the Hannibal. It actually says the page is subject to extended conflict restrictions related to the Arab-Israel conflict. Even Wikipedia is telling you about it, huh? The fact that even the Wikipedia is telling you about it shows how legit it is. And well, to be fair, Wikipedia isn't the most trustworthy source, but we'll start there, then go from there. Hannibal protocol name of the The Hannibal directive, Hebrew, whatever, Romanized Noho Cannibal, also translated to as Hannibal Procedure or Hannibal Protocol, is the name of the controversial procedure used by Israel Defense Forces (IDF) to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. According to one version, it says that the kidnapping must be stopped by all means, even at the price of striking and harming our own forces. It was introduced in 1986 after a number of abductions of IDF soldiers in Lebanon and subsequent controversial prisoners are exchanges. The full text of the directive was never published in until 2003. Israel military censorship forbade any discussion of the subject in the press. The directive has been changed several times, and in 2016, Gadi Eisenkot ordered the formal revocation of standing directive and a reformulation of protocol. Okay, well, let's continue. Two versions of Hannibal directive may have existed simultaneously at times. A written version accessible only to upper echelon of the IDF and the oral law version for diversion commanders and lower levels. In the later version, by all means, was often interpreted literally as an IDF soldier was better dead than abducted. In 2011, IDF Chief of Staff Benny Gantz stated that directive does not permit killing IDF soldiers to prevent abduction. In case of the abduction of Gilad Shalit, invocation of Hannibal directive occurred too late to have any influence on the source of events. Israel newspaper, including, can't read that part, ABC News. It's because it's freaking faded on the left side, but whatever. UN's Commission of Inquiry have pointed out that during the 2023 Hamas-led attack on Israel, the IDF ordered the Hannibal directive to be used. The IDF was ordered to prevent at all costs the abduction of Israel civilians and soldiers, possibly leading to death of a large number of Israel hostages. Huh. So basically, it's kill anything, including the hostages, to prevent hostages. That seems rational, I guess. Well, that's according to Wikipedia, so there's that. I don't know what to make of that part. I guess there's that. The Hannibal director, former Israel soldier, tells all. So basically, yeah. So it's allowing to use the maximal force to stop the kidnapping and the hostage thing by even killing the hostages that are their own. Like, there are soldiers that are hostages to Hamas. Like, that's really it. Well, that's kind of weird, but by any means necessary, I guess. I don't know what to make of that. That's kind of dumb, but just done, I suppose. They want to stop the hostages by all costs, but even if it meant killing their own soldiers, that's weird. Meh. Okay, so 26 minutes. I talked about a good portion of it, plus the Hannibal. I learned something new. From Jizamak State, thanks for showing up. I'll hang out for a bit more. I got time. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I mean, there could be. There's probably a bit more that I'm missing, but I covered like the basis of what's going on and what really is all about that shit. So a continuation part of Gaza Strip. I don't know. Who knows? But hey, get back there. What are you doing? There we go. Back on the original page. Okay. Wait. Recording? Gonna upload a local recording, huh? Wow. So I could probably do reviews on this part on the phone. Yay. Anyway, I think I talked about everything, so it's not like I'm gonna get too many views anyway. I only got one, so it's fine though. But I'm glad I got able to go about almost 30 minutes. So I'll give 2 more minutes and I'll hang out. Who knows? Maybe somebody would hop in and be like, "Hey, Lizzie, what's up?" That could happen. Who knows? That's all that. So speaking of which, like I don't know how many people really go over the Gaza Strip whole situation and shit. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just kind of like one of those things where at least the U.S. isn't affected by that, so let them go kill each other for all we care, I guess. But I don't know. Trump wants to stop it. He seemingly loves Jewish people for some reason. Yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna start doing some premieres pretty soon too. Just for the fuck of it. I got several ideas of some. Yeah, I think we got a good portion of time in. Thanks for watching, and this is probably gonna get a bit more viewers after this ends, because that's literally how my streams work for some reason. I don't know, but we finally went 30 minutes, ending right now.